I'm gonna cue.
There's a cat over there.
I'm gonna cue Kaylee up real quick. Hang on. Let's talk to the
Look
kitty
at her
cat.
Yeah,
cat.
just ask the
I
question.
mean, come on.
Hey
little
guys, my name's
tiger.
Dominique. Just want to let you guys know you've changed my life. It feels good to be a nerd. So, yes. My question is, what do you guys like to geek out to? What is your go-to?
Everyone
I've
is.
asked this question for so many
Yeah,
years, and I never
everyone
know
has
what to say.
something.
Board games for me.
Board
like
games.
board games?
I'm Star Wars. My dog is called Boba Fett. It's pretty cool. We're gonna get another one and name him or her Django. We'll have the Fetts in the house. That'll be cool. What else?
You like guitars? I don't know. I think it's anything you're obsessed with, right?
Yeah, geeking out is just being passionate about something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Johnny, the first
Horses.
Johnny, the first year you were here, you were very excited about the GI Joes.
G.I.
About
Joes?
what?
The GI
G.I.
Joes.
Joes.
You remember the first year we were here 10 years ago?
I don't remember that.
You don't remember?
Yeah,
that?
I was 8 at the time.
That's actually the GI Joes were what Kaylee and Johnny were fighting about.
Yeah,
that time.
we were mad.
Bill,
That's
will you
the
tell the
truth.
story of walking on the floor the first year that Johnny and Kaylee were here?
So it's the very first 10 years ago. It's the very first Comic-Con. We had done the panel, and that was a time when it was possible for this cast to walk out on the floor of Comic-Con safely. And Chuck Lorre and I and Johnny and Kaylee started to walk. We wanted to see Comic-Con, and we started to walk on the floor, and we're seeing all of these cool things. And there's the Bat Cycle from the TV show, and there's all this other stuff. And Kaylee said, "Where are we going?" And we said, "To here, to this."
You're in it.
And she stopped and said, "I'm going back to the hotel."
No offense. I just felt very lost. It's very wild out there. Very wild.
It was a very Penny moment.
It
for
was.
me.
Yeah, exactly. It was honest. I was like, I'm confused.
As long as we're talking about the mood on set, this is a question that if I'm taking away from somebody, I apologize. But are there ever? I've seen some pranks on set, and I've seen some sort of surprises you've planned for the writers. Do you have any particular stories about pranks or surprises that have maybe not gone as planned or have gone so well?
You know, our gag reels are very, very funny. We rarely do any sort of planned out stuff, but there was actually one experience. It was, I don't know if you guys have seen this episode, one of the Valentine's Day episodes.
I think it was season 6.
Season 6? Yeah. Okay, it was me and you and Simon and Melissa. It's the 4 of us in a scene. And the scene was, again, us fighting. So we were fighting in the scene, and we thought it would be really funny for the gag reel. We didn't tell anyone.
Take it too far.
To take it one step too far, that Johnny would fake punch me, and I'd fall out of frame. So like if I'm sitting here, I would just fall out of frame, and then on camera you would see me go out, and we're in this big fight because in the scene we're fighting. So I'm like, okay, Johnny, so you're gonna fake punch me, I'm gonna fall out of frame and do this whole thing. So we set this whole thing up.
And then I called hair and makeup, and I said, "Bring me some hair extensions."
Yeah,
So
bring
from-
hair extensions. He could
From under
throw
the
them.
table, I was like tearing her hair
I wanted
out.
to make like a funny scene. So we did it, and I fell over, and the chair, no one knew this, and I didn't either, clocked me in the head. And I just thought, oh, I gotta like calm down, it's a little bruised, but I'm still acting. Like I'm under there, and he's still like fake punching me and like throwing the hair. And I come back up, I'm like, how did it look? And all I see is Simon's face, and it was my blood just gushing out of the top of right. And you know, like when you watch like boxing, that area for some reason is like, so it was shooting, and I'm like, so how did it look? And Simon's staring at me. Simon is like, I see his face. He's like, you get, and it's like everywhere. And then I'm like, oh my, and it was all over me. And I had to go get stitches that day. That we were shooting in the evening, get stitches that day, and then come shoot the next day, and we had to change the blocking. If you watch the episode, I'm faced a certain way because I had stitches in my forehead. And then I got back, and there were all these signs, like no more fun allowed on the set of everything. But I think we have
the clip.
this clip.
We went through 1,000 tapes, and we found the clip of Kaylee. It's blood free, but
You have to
You can put
listen.
the blood in your head.
Yeah.
Can we
We're gonna
see
show
it?
it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
We got it.
So try and listen very carefully.
God.
Simon's face is
Simon's face is like this.
we're not allowed to do those jokes anymore.
Just realizing how I'm horribly
I like
abusive
you're
to you,
saying,
I'm realizing.
just calm down, everyone. Get me a
Calm
napkin.
down, everyone.
It's hard
Simon's
to
like,
hear,
just
but
calm
But
down.
it was
I
horrifying.
like it as
My
everyone's
favorite-
running in to protect you. Johnny's still wrapping up
I
his
know.
salt and pepper shaker in a
I didn't
napkin.
even care.
To beat you with.
And if you listen carefully, you can hear Kaylee say from the floor, "It all went awry."
That was horrifying.
That was terrible.
I'm scarred
Real
for
life.
life.
I
You
know.
probably are too. Do we have another question down here? I bet we do. Hello.
Hi,
Hi.
Hey,
I'm Kim.
Kim.
Absolutely love you guys, by the
Aw.
way. My question is there anything that you want to happen to your characters next season? Like specifically?
Oh my gosh.
It's so hard. You don't really think that way when
No.
things are going well. You know, we have the utmost trust in the writers. Who am I to? Why would I try to think up anything when I know that
You know, we get the
they're
script.
going to come up with gold? You know.
We get the script the day before we start the next episode. So we have no idea what's going on. It's almost like every Tuesday night when we get the new script to start on Wednesday is like Christmas. Because we open up the
Get the
packet,
storyline
you get
or
to read, and
something.
we're also excited to read the next episode for us. So we trust the writers implicitly. And so yeah, what's gonna happen, guys?
Well, we know that if Kutherpali ever becomes a terrorist, you can handle it.
Just put on a mustache, and it'll be good.
But it really is a question for the writers. Maria, what do you see happening to your character next season?
It's actually, when they asked the writers to send in questions for the panel, that was like the one that all the writers sent. It was like, do they have any story ideas?
And they be specific.
I know you didn't ask me, but the window's kind of closing for Barry and Amy to go out on a date. Yeah. And I'm just floating that balloon right here publicly in front of all of you as witnesses that me and Dr. Bialik make an adorable couple. Let's do another question from the audience.
Hi, my name's Alondra. I just first have to say I love Kaylee and Kunal. This is like amazing right now.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
But-
Sorry, Johnny.
Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah,
Love you too.
Ricky, you and I'll
Good
hang out
choice.
later.
Yeah.
My question is, which has been your favorite episode of the entire seasons?
Man.
So hard. Now I'm glad I wasn't a part of that. That's a difficult question.
I still like I almost said Easter egg hunt. It was not an Easter egg hunt. The big
Scavenger.
sorry.
Scavenger hunt.
Scavenger hunt.
Yes, that was so
That was a
fun
lot of
because
fun.
we a lot of us were part of it. It just was really funny. I like when we're all doing things together and it's very physical. It just always makes me laugh. And I got to Melissa pushed me over. It was just, and she's wickedly strong. It was fun. I like when we have those big group episodes.
I liked it when the three guys got high in the desert.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was really funny. I got to make fun of Simon's accent, for Johnny's accent, for the American accent. I got to make fun of it for once, which was really fun.
And what does that sound like?
Yeah.
What? Do it? Everything you say sounds so stupid. An American. Yeah, stars are pretty, aren't they? That was funny when he's like, Raj, the world is spinning too fast. Make it stop. Make it stop. And I'm like, it's so funny. And that whole like monologue about rabbits, about being the
Right.
king of rabbits.
No, but I want to hear more of your American accent.
What?
I want to hear more of your American accent.
You want to hear more of my American accent? That's weird. I wish Simon was here because then he'd just make fun of me in my Indian accent. But
Okay, this is a question from Bill Prady for the cast. Actually for the writers too. What famous guest star generated a fanboy, fangirl moment?
what?
Oh, Bob Newhart for me, certainly.
Oh,
Which one?
No,
Oh,
what famous guest star made you?
couldn't hear
I have an answer.
If I know Kevin, he has several.
And I'll try to keep it brief. So when I first came on the show, one of the earlier seasons, I met Will Wheaton, who I had been a fan of. And I was, I try not to get starstruck and stuff, and I tried to play it off all cool. And he's so nice. He made me feel super comfortable. Like within minutes of meeting him, he was teaching me a card game, Queen's Necklace, and it was great. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, he's just a person. We're all just people. And then years later, when Adam West was on set, Will Wheaton, the whole time he was talking about how amazing it is, because he's a huge Adam West fan, and you're talking about how awesome it is to be in the same room. And it wasn't until like late in the week that I happened to be standing there when he sort of walked over to Adam West, all super nervous, and he did the thing that I did to him, to Adam West. You know, Mr. West, I didn't want to bother you, but
Did you call Will Mr. Wheaton the first time you saw him? Mr. Wheaton.
Wait, you don't
card game.
Wait, I'm the only one he makes call Mr. Wheaton.
Do you guys remember the show The Wonder Years? I remember when I first met, because I got to make out with Danica McKellar on the show.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember when I was growing up in New Delhi, I had my first kiss in 8th grade, and I didn't know what I was doing. And I closed my eyes, and I remembered the first time that Winnie and Kevin kissed on the park bench. I said, just pretend like you're doing that. And then in real life, in life on Big Bang Theory life, I actually got to kiss Danica McKellar in real life. And that was a story that came full circle. 9 months later, she was pregnant. That is a fact. Not by me, but that's just a fact.
Yeah, the writers obviously have some too, right? You guys have
Yeah,
some
who
fangirl.
was your fangirl, fanboy moments from the writers?
Adam West was a remarkable thing because, and I made him call me old chum, but there was a day that I had spoken to Will Wheaton in the morning, and then it was the same day we were talking to Leonard Nimoy about coming and doing the voice, and he called on the phone, and I talked to him on the phone, and then I talked later in the day to LeVar Burton, who was calling to try to get a clip or something of the show he'd done, and I said, LeVar, if I could go back in time and tell my younger self that there's a day in my life when I talked to Wesley Crusher and Mr. Spock and Geordie LaForge, I would have died and never made it to the point. And he said, time paradox, and then
That's
we went
amazing.
on to something else.
I have a really good Adam West story. So he was on our 200th episode. And after our table read, he called me over. He had some questions about the script, and he had a line in the script where he told, I think, Leonard and Cuther probably, don't ring my doorbell or my poodles will go crazy. And Adam said to me, do you think I could have a tougher dog, like a Rottweiler? And I said, well, Mr. West, you could, but I don't think it's as funny. And he said, well, I have poodles in real life, so I guess it's fine.
That's hilarious.
It's a great story.
That is hysterical.
What about you guys? What was your
I guess
favorite?
for me, we've had lots of great ones, but meeting James Earl Jones and having him on set for the week was amazing, and getting to hear words we wrote delivered in that voice when he gets to say, I like Star Wars too, was fantastic. And Carrie Fisher was in that episode as well.
Yeah.
And this was surprising, but they met for the first time on our set. They had never met before. He came out and she said, Dad, and they hugged, and that was the first time they met.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I think I have to say Stan Lee, because he was so cool and such a stud. He really was.
Yeah,
oh my God, he got so much swagger.
Stephen Hawking.
Stephen Hawking. Oh my God.
Stephen Hawking came. We shot the Stephen Hawking scene in his office with Jim. So the rest of the actors weren't there. But Stephen Hawking came and watched a run through of our show.
Yep.
And watching Simon do the Stephen Hawking voice while Stephen Hawking is watching the run through. Was pretty incredible.
Yeah.
And he loved it. Do
Do you remember Kaylee had the line in the
Yes,
episode?
I'll never forget.
Somebody says, do you know who Stephen Hawking is? Do you remember your line back?
The guy in the wheelchair?
It's the wheelchair dude who invented time.
Who invented time. And we're doing the run through, and Mr. Hawking is literally right here, just in my eye line as I'm saying this joke. And I said it, and I just looked at him, I'm like, I'm so sorry. And he was laughing, but he loved it. He loved being there. He was just amazing. Yeah, awesome. We've had some amazing people on the show.
Lucky.
Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher
Oh,
Lloyd.
he was
oh my God.
incredible.
I don't think I ever laughed so hard than that scene.
No one could keep a straight face.
Oh
in
my
that
God.
scene.
Because we didn't know what he was going to do.
All about love.
He always said something different.
It's just
Bob
Doc.
Newhart was a remarkable.
Oh.
You know,
Yeah.
Bob Newhart.
for it's especially for those of us who grew up watching Newhart and to come on the show, and then there was a point where the director was giving Bob a note, and he said, well, maybe you could do that Newhart stutter here on this line, and Bob Newhart said, I don't stutter, I stammer. Do you know the difference? And our director said no, and Bob Newhart said, a house in Bel Air.
Click left to check out the Big Bang Theory panel part 1, or click to the right for part 3.